We're going to look at creating a drawing and putting it on using our template. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. It's in the book in chapter 2, number 7, called the support base. Okay, and here are the dimensions for it. So that's what we'll be drawing. So when we get to our start up here, I can go right up here and go to new. And when I go to new, it'll automatically look for a template file, a DWT file. I'm going to go to my USB drive. Here is the inch template that I created. Okay, and here is the template. Okay, now again, when we draw, we're always going to draw in model space. So I'm going to go here to model space, and I'm going to start drawing, and I'm going to draw that little support base. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to draw a circle, and let's see, I want the center and diameter. And I'm just going to pick a spot, really doesn't matter. I'm going to pick the big diameter, and that's 2. Okay, I'm going to take and I'm going to draw a line from that center, and I'm going to go straight up, and that's 2.25. Okay, I'm going to go between those twos. That is where those two holes are going to be. Okay, on each side it is 1.5. It's 3 total, so I'm going to put 1.5. I'm going to hit enter again, go from here, 1.5, hit enter. Okay, I'm going to draw our little, actually I'm going to draw the big radiuses first, so I'm going to go to radius, and that radius is 0.75. Okay, and I'm going to draw another one from here, and that's 0.75. Okay, now I'm going to connect those together. I'm going to go from here, from the quadrant of this circle, from the to the quadrant of that circle. Okay, I'm going to draw a line. Now, if I don't have my O snaps, I'm going to make a tangent from this one to that one. Okay, I can just take and hold my shift button down and right click, and I'll get my O snaps here, and I'll pick quadrant, and then I'll do it again because I didn't want quadrant, I want tangent. Okay, and now it's going to keep doing. There's my tangent, and I'm going to shift right click, quadrant, and again I don't want quadrant, I want tangent. There's tangent to there. Okay, now hopefully I can do a little quicker this time. Pick the right ones. I'll hold my shift button down, right click, tangent, hold my button down, click, tangent, and then enter. Okay, I'm going to take and I'm going to trim these guys. I'll hit enter, and I'll go to trim, enter. Trim that one, and that one, that one, and that one. Doesn't matter if I trim that hole there. Okay, I can delete those lines. Now I have a line coming down the middle, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to use my object tracking, so I'm going to go to midpoint, and I'm going to drag it down, and that distance is 1. So that's where that starts, and that's 0.375, so half of that is 0.1875. And then do it from the other side, 1.875. And I did, should be 0.1875. I'll come down, and I'll just drag it past there, and I'll draw another line, drag it past there, and then I'll just trim these guys up. Right there and there. And now put the 3 holes here, one here, one here, one here. So I'm going to go up, and those are all diameters. So I'm going to go to circle, center and diameter. I'm going to find the center of this one because that's where it's at. That diameter is 0.75. Hit enter. Now if I hit enter again, notice it's going to go into circle, center, and radius. But if I click that one, okay, notice it says the diameter 0.375. It takes into account of what you did before, and I can just hit enter, or I could have went into diameter. I want diameter again here, and that one is 1 inch. Alright, so I have my drawing. Now what I need to do is put it on the piece of paper. So I'm going to go out to my layout view, and what I need to do is cut that viewport inside of here so we can see the model space on the other side. So I go up here to layout, and I go to rectangular. Okay, now I'm going to just take from this endpoint, and it's going to ask me to create a rectangle, and I'm going to go to this point. Okay, and it cuts that hole in that piece of paper so I can see the model space on the other side. Now if I double click inside of there, okay, now I'm in model space. If I double click on the white part on the outside, now I'm in paper space. Okay, so I want to go into model space, and the first thing I want to do, I'm going to turn off that grid because I don't want to see that. Okay, the next I'm going to look right over here and you'll see a number. Okay, this one says 1.470950. That is the scale. Okay, as we move further and closer away, if I turn my scroll bar, notice that number changing. I'm down to 0.224. I'm at 5.98. Okay, so I want a scale that's going to allow that to fit in that paper. Okay, I'm going to hit that little up arrow, and these are all common scales: 1 to 1, 1/2, 1/4, 1/5, 2 to 1, 4 to 1. Okay, I'm going to take a look at 2 to 1. Okay, I'm going to scroll over, and that's obviously too big. So 2 to 1 is too big, which means it's twice as big on the paper as is in real life. So if this dimension from the center here to here is 3, when I printed this out, this would be 6. Okay, be 2 times. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to look at 1 to 1. Okay, so 1 to 1 seems to fit pretty good. I'm just going to take and pan up so it's right, and then I'm going to double click on it. Now I have to be careful. If I end up going in here and scrolling by mistake, I'm going to lose my scale. So I need to put it on again. So again, I'll make this 1 to 1, and then I'll pan it to where I want, and I'll go back into model space. Now while I'm in model space, I'm going to right click on where I'm going to click on my border, right click, and you'll see display locked, and I'll say yes. Okay, now that that display is locked, I can't move that anywhere. If I double click in there, now I'm back in model space. Okay, notice my zoom and my pan doesn't change. Okay, I want to go back into paper space. Okay, here I would click on, double click here, and then I could put the title, for example. This is support block, support base, I mean, B-A-S-E, and then click anywhere, and then I could put the drawing number, and I could put the scale. Okay, you always must have a scale here. That scale here is 1 to 1. And click anywhere else. I can put the material in here. Okay, just by clicking I can put the date. Okay, this is 7/27/20. Okay, then I will go up to File, Save As, and then I would save it to my flash drive, for example, and whatever I want to call this, support base. Okay, so that's how we'll put the paper or the drawing onto a piece of paper.